7th episode of the Radiant Black podcast. This is a podcast focused on the Radiant Black Image Comics series by Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa, Becca Carey, and Michael Basuto. I'm joined today by my co-host Matt and my friend Adi. How are you guys doing?
Good. I'm shocked. We're not friends apparently. We're just a business relationship. We're just co-hosts there. I'm hurt. I'm wounded, and I don't even know if I want to record anymore.
I'm doing good. It's been a great couple of weeks. Great issue 7. A lot of stuff happening.
I feel like it's been so long since we've actually been picking up, the story about Marshall and, the central story focused on what's happening in Radiant Black in general because we got one issue that focused on Satomi's origin, and while that was an amazing issue, everyone knows that we have all been waiting for the team to finally interact together. We've all been waiting for, to see Glitch in action and to kind of get an idea of what they can do. And like, not only did we get to see those things, but it was a fantastic issue. It really was worth waiting for. But I gotta say, it's still tough waiting a month for these issues because, goddamn, they're so good.
Yeah, it's tougher than a $2 steak, really. But it's really nice to get Costa's artwork back too. It's refreshing to see his stuff. It was nice to get new artists in on it, but Costa, it's like he's the DNA of the series. A lot of it comes from him, so it's really cool to see him back at it.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad we finally picked back up where we left off. Like, I was basically waiting, counting the days to see what happens next.
Yeah, and I personally, I really liked getting Natalia Marquez as a colorist for issue number 5, and then I'm not sure whether she did issue number 6. I think that might have been someone else, but getting her back for issue number 7 is a delight because I think her colors match really well with the dynamic nature of the series with Marcelo's artwork, and it doesn't really take away from Marcelo coloring his own work or whatever the situation was before this. So I've really been enjoying her colors. I find them to be super kinetic, and I think they really add to the overall cosmic feel of the story. So I'm hoping Natalia, like looking forward at the solicitations, I see that she's coloring a few more issues, and I think we're getting Igor Monti doing issue 10, which is amazing. So I'm really excited for that. I just gotta say, I'm really enjoying the way they're shuffling all these amazing creative artists they have on board.
Yeah, they have their own Radiant roster that's even better than ours probably when we got these awesome artists. And yeah, it was Muerto on colors last week. Or last issue, not last week. I wish it was last week that came out, but yeah, no. I love this issue, and it's really nice to see Daniele Di Nicolo do 7 Secrets. He does that, and he killed it on the 7th issue here of Radiant Black for the cover. I love it, and I need a poster of that wraparound cover.
Can I
Yeah.
just say that like this Radiant Black in general has some of the best covers I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said before, and it needed to be said
Yep.
again because it's true.
Yeah,
It's
it
factual
really
at this
is.
point.
It's like it's become almost like a staple of the series to have amazing covers, and I gotta say, Kyle, Marcelo, and Coach, y'all are playing a dangerous game because the expectations are gonna keep rising with each amazing outing that you guys put out. So it's I guess it's a double-edged sword, but no. All jokes aside, the cover game has been spectacular.
Yeah, Bash, you had some housekeeping to do with so much happened between the release of the last issue. We've had SDCC panels and the like. So what's
Yeah, I
new?
mean, yeah, we've had so many, so much Radiant Black information has been put out there, and good for us because we get to talk about it. First things first, I've noticed that there's some folks, via Twitter, via social media, that haven't been exposed or haven't realized that there is or isn't a Radiant Black website, but there is, and it's amazing. It's designed by Michael Basuto, and I honestly, it's just so well designed. So if you haven't checked out the Radiant Black website, I highly recommend it. You could just go to your search bar and type Radiant.Black. Literally, that's all. And it'll take you to the website. Once you get to the website, you'll notice, there's like Fariato's artwork in the background used as the a website background. And it looks incredible. Like I said, the website's really well designed, nice font. And, you can see the issues that come out. So if, for those of you who are wondering what the covers are, who did what cover, and what the release dates are, all the information is there. And then beyond that, I noticed that some people, some members in the community weren't aware that there's a soundtrack for Radiant Black, and we've talked about that before, but we're gonna bring it up again. Radiant Black has an incredible soundtrack done by composer Sam Ewing, and like seriously, it's awesome. I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of the comic book, but and we're not like we're not advertising. This is like truly our my at least for me, this is my opinion. I think the music's awesome. I highly recommend checking it out. And beyond that, just check out the website. It might have some information that you don't know about, or just just look at it. It's pretty cool, really well made.
I'm hoping that music shows up in the show when we get the eventual Radiant Black
Oh
TV
yeah,
show.
oh yeah. I mean, there's some folks who they it's like it's like their monthly jam. They talk about how they got to play the theme song for the series before they read every issue. So it's a thing.
It's a ritual, and it's a pretty sweet one. I was thinking about doing it today, but I just had to hurry so much to get prepped for this podcast. But next time I probably will. The every time I hear the Crisis Couture like trailer theme, like the official Radiant Black theme song, it's better and better every time I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Ever since Derek did, I just have to scream it every time it's brought up. But yeah, no, Radiant Black by the theme song by Crossy Couture. Yeah, it's amazing. Check it out if you haven't. Check out the soundtrack by Sam Ewing on the website. Seriously, it's awesome. And yeah, moving on, we've noticed that the Radiant Black #9 variants have been released, and today it's a great day because literally today, the same day we're recording, we also got the Radiant Black 10 variants, but we're going to talk about that later. So yeah, looking at the Radiant Black #9 variants, first of all, we got a #9 cover A, I believe that's done by Marcelo Costa, and it's a homage to that Ultimate Spider-Man issue, right? Where with Uncle Ben and his arms around Peter Parker supposedly. That's a pretty sweet homage. I mean,
And it hits like a
you guys
metro.
expecting that? Yeah, for a series called Radiant Black, I'm honestly loving the white background there and like the use of the white background there. It's similar to like Invincible, and there's Invincible #13, I believe, and it's just Invincible standing in the white room, the one in the Pentagon.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so it reminds me a lot of Invincible as well. So there's that little connection.
And it just puts a focus on. I mean, it could be in the existence or whatever, which it probably isn't because that's usually darker. But it just puts a heavy focus on the emotional weight of I guess Nathan like maybe saying, "Hey Marshall, it's up to you. You're carrying the torch, or it's okay, buddy." Trying to console him. Like who knows? It could play into the story. Like his consciousness could be there, or maybe we might get some final words from Nathan in that issue. That could be where they might have to pull the plug on him, quote unquote. Who knows? That's just an early prediction.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's gonna be like Nathan's last stand. Maybe he leaves a little bit of his consciousness in with Marshall. He sticks around with him forever. I don't know. Could go a lot of different ways.
Either way, he'll be in
Yeah.
our hearts forever. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that
Yeah.
cover C is just like the parents there. You have it's just so sad. You have Nathan looking through the window, or Marshall looking through the window. It's just all around hits you in the feels. One of the most emotional covers of the year for sure.
Yeah, one of the less, I feel like, action based. All of the 125s have been really awesome poses, really dynamic like covers, whereas this one is more of a a voyeur kind of cover where we have Radiant Black peeking over, the Nathan situation, and it's super sad when we see the Burnett's there. It's just, it's a super, it's pretty upsetting, but it's a really nice cover by David LaFuente, and I look forward to finding this one. I feel like it might not be easy to find.
Yeah, exactly. And that cover B.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
god.
cover B by Danilo Beirut is that one's a banger. Like we talked about before, how we wanted the artists, like, because the creators of this series have such a camaraderie between them, and they have such a good like organic like relationship where they allow the other creatives to flourish and develop their own ideas. And Kyle's always said we always think about how wouldn't this be cool, or wouldn't this look awesome, and that's how they sometimes do things. And I feel like the artist really, I feel like Danilo on this one really took a lot of liberties with the title placement, and I love it because it really looks fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
unique. There
yeah.
really aren't any. There isn't any other cover that's kind of similar to this one at all. Like this
Yeah.
one's like at least cover A. You've talked about the white backgrounds before, but this one is very unique to
Yeah, it
different
reminds me
style.
of like, McFarlane, the Hulk covers he did where, like Spider-Man's like being punched into the title and the title's like
Yeah.
breaking and crumbling, or
Yeah,
like, the Hulk is like pulling the two title, words aside, and they're just like falling down. Those are like classic covers, and I kind of feel like in the same vein, these are going to be classic covers for Radiant Black because, like, obviously you got this amazing blue background, but it's also like I got to give credit. The title placement is beautiful. Like, it really adds to the cover and everything that's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And like we shouldn't even bother doing a tier list of all these covers because you're just gonna watch us put them all in like S and A tier basically. It's not getting lower than that.
Oh yeah, no, there's no point. Like, every cover is fantastic, and I bought them all anyway. Gotta catch them all. So
I missed
yeah.
one this week. I was pissed, but I will get it. I will track it down. I'm like Liam Neeson from Taken right now. Like I will find you.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is how it is. So, moving forward, it's been a big month for Radiant Black. Like, we're looking at the gap from the release of Radiant Black number 6 to the release of Radiant Black number 7. A lot has happened, and amongst those is the launch of Kyle Higgins' creative collective, The Black Market Narrative. I mean, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to Kyle Higgins. I know I read in his newsletter where he talked about, how long they've been working on this. It's been like longer than 10 years that they've been working on this. This is something he's put a lot of his time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into. And I'm just happy for him to see this come to fruition. So congratulations to him and his peers. And I wish them, the best of successes in the future.
Yeah, and with that came that awesome contest, the giveaway with the launch of the Twitter account and the unveiling and stuff like that. And it was awesome. We really didn't get a chance to talk about it on the podcast, but I mean, they did the giveaway with that amazing helmet that's really sweet. And they had the poster, the one that is, very few people have except like Bash, who got it from Strange, and the
But
trade paperback.
yeah, so follow Market Narrative on Twitter. It's at Black Market Nair, like NAR. Yeah, just follow them because not only are they doing a whole bunch of awesome giveaways, they just had 3 amazing giveaways, which we're going to talk about in a second. Matt just brought it up, and they said that there's gonna be more giveaways right around the corner. So, for those of you who are big fans of Radiant Black, for those of you who are just big fans of Kyle Higgins in general, or for those of you who are fans of comic books, and this is almost like an imprint, I think, but I guess we can consider it more than that because there's a lot going on. But yeah, they even have their own website, also designed by the amazing Michael Basulo at blackmarket.la. So check out the website. There's a lot of cool links to, the different projects they have going on, like Inferno Girl Red, Ordinary Gods, and Radiant Black, to name a few. Yeah, for those of you who are, fans of Kyle Higgins, this is like a no-brainer. Check it out, participate, be part of the giveaways. For the giveaways that were recently announced, all you had to do was follow the account and then retweet that tweet. And my God, the giveaway had some amazing prizes. I think the number one prize was a Radiant Black helmet that's gonna have LED lights and whatnot. It was just amazing. It,
Who
it
could
had
expect that after like
yeah.
8 months of the book being like a thing, like
That's
in the
insane.
wild, or 7 months? Like that's amazing.
And I believe they said they're gonna like make them for purchase too in the future, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was
yeah,
heavily
Yeah, yeah.
teased, like it's happening.
yeah. They're going to be posted for a purchase in the future. So yeah, for those of you who are looking forward to getting your Sentai on, come on, you just gotta wait a few and it's gonna be there. So yeah, and then there were also 2 other prizes. How about, Matt, you tell us what the other prize was, and you can tell us what the other one was.
Well, there was the signed poster by Basudel and Higgins, right? They both signed it, and it was the one that they were using in stores a lot too. Like I don't think you
Yeah, it
can
was
buy it.
signed by Marcelo Costa and Kyle, and it was gonna be signed in like fluorescent light markers or something, so it's extra special.
That was it. That was it. Yeah, that's awesome. Like that's really cool. Like it's never been a better time to get a blacklight. More on that later.
Yeah,
Their
go ahead.
prize was the a selection of comic books. I think number ones from Kyle's collection, right? They were signed too.
Yeah, a few exclusive variants from his
Yeah,
own personal comps that he was gonna sign and give out. So that, like, honestly, you can't go wrong. Any one of those prizes that you're winning, you're gonna go home a happy, like, a happy
absolutely.
person. So yeah, like, but participate, be part of the Radiant Black Black Market Narrative, that be part of Kyle's newsletters, and he's been honestly really active on the newsletters recently, which is on Substack, but it's free. He already said that he's not gonna be joining Substack soon, but you never know. But yeah, so if you want to hear all the news on Kyle Higgins and his latest work, join the make sure you're following the Radiant Black newsletter. Make sure you're following Black Market Narrative. Don't miss out on some of the awesome stuff.
Yeah, and
And
shout out to Ricky Z of the Weekly Polls who won that second prize there. That's super cool. Who won
yeah,
the all
yeah.
the number ones there of the Black Market Narrative books. That's really sweet.
I mean, everyone who knows Ricky knows he's a great guy. He's a super nice guy, amazing member of the comic book community. And if you ask me, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. So congrats, Ricky. I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking about that on the Weekly Polls podcast. So check that out. Great folks.
I think Derek's more excited than he is.
Oh yeah, no, Derek's for sure. So yeah, check that out. Like we were big fans of their podcast. Anyway, after the giveaways were announced, there was a lot of chatter regarding prior to the announcement of the black market narrative and the giveaways, they had released some images of what people assumed were either a figure, a PVC, a statue. Those were the general assumptions at the time, although there were very few who thought it was artwork. And it turns out that it was the digital art that is going to be, they haven't announced in what capacity it's going to be, whether it's a giveaway or it's going to be purchased, but you never know. Probably maybe both. Anyway, there is a 3D artwork of Radiant Black from Carlos Detali, and if you haven't heard about that, check out Black Market Narrative on Twitter or check out Higgins' newsletter. It's been mentioned on both of those places. It's pretty sweet. What did you guys think about that?
I thought it looked awesome. Like you don't know what you're gonna get. Like we thought it was an action figure, but it could be like the basis for one, but it's something different. I have no idea what they're doing. There's so many pans on the I don't know. That's irons in the fire. That's the analogy I'm looking for. But there's so much going on in this just the first year of Radiant Black when it's like I feel like now the series is starting to explode. Like the first and second issues have gone into like third and I think maybe fourth printings. I'm not entirely sure on that, but who knows the stuff they're making. I don't know what the art's going to end up being, but I'm excited for whatever it turns out to be.
No, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been all hits, no misses so far. Like every single thing they've done from each cover to the giveaways to the digital artwork, like every little thing makes me want a little bit more.
I'm not
Hmm.
gonna lie. Personally, I was hoping it was an action figure, but I
I mean,
wasn't
yeah, weren't
disappointed.
we all?
Yeah,
Weren't we all?
yeah,
Especially after that
yeah,
little teaser in was it 7?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
More on that later. Yep. And then yeah, we were all hoping he was gonna be an action figure because what do you
They're
call it?
playing with our expectations like an action figure right now. Like they know what they're
Oh
doing.
yeah, and we're fans. I mean, we're nerds, so we're fans of action figures and comic books. Of course, we want an action figure. I mean, a little Radiant Black for me to just play around with. Of course, I wanted that, but I'm honestly blown away by the quality of the digital artwork, and I think I'm definitely gonna be
Oh,
grabbing
it's
one.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
once the time comes. So yeah, I guess not the worst. And uh, moving forward, we also wanted to mention Last Flight Out. Last Flight Out is a comic book by Mark Guggenheim and Eduardo Farigato. And, Eduardo Farigato's illustrated some issues of Radiant Black already. So if you're a fan of his work and always, a fan of indie comics in general, check out Last Flight Out. I think FOC has already passed, but it's a number one, so it's still a number one, so you should be able to find copies, no problem. I know I'm going to be picking up a copy of Last Flight Out, and I'm really excited. There's been a lot of good buzz around it on social media, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's looking pretty hype. And yeah, is that oh we still have to talk about the panel as well, right?
Oh yeah. So wait, the panel. Yeah. So before, yeah, let's talk about the SDC panel. We're not gonna get too much into it because a
No.
lot of a lot of the news is a little bit outdated by now. But there was a San Diego Comic Con Radiant Black panel where Kyle Higgins, Michael Basuto, Eduardo Ferrigato, Marcelo Costa, and Strawberry 17, which is Megan Camarena, were all gathered and talking about Radiant Black. It was a really enjoyable what do you call it, panel. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. It's on YouTube. What did you think, Matt?
It was cool. That's where we got the name reveals for Radiant Yellow and Radiant Pink. We got those names confirmed, and Basuto got to troll a little bit with the in his ways. They kind of got to tease some stuff, and they did have a bit of reveal. They revealed those the covers for those issues that they revealed that 7 was actually a wraparound, which we obviously found when we purchased it and stuff like that. So that was nice. And then there was what was the other cover? Do you know that they revealed? There's the other
Yeah,
Radiants in the
so
background.
yeah, there was the Radiant Black number 7, 125 Trevor McCarthy variant, which when they showed it to us initially, it was just the image just showed Radiant Black himself posing, as if he were about to take off from the ground. And then, they lied to us. And I love it because Ferrigato called them bastards on the panel. Straight
I
up.
love that.
He's like, you bastards. And Michael's like, we are. I'm just like, oh, God. But yeah, that was a lovely moment. So that's worth watching the panel alone. But yeah, the bastards said that there's going to be there were three Radiants behind Radiant Black, and that's Radiant Yellow, Radiant Pink, and Radiant Red. So yeah, they showed us the full cover, and it's beautiful. And I honestly, I wasn't like when I first saw the cover, I was like, this is awesome. But when I saw it in person, when I saw that cover in front of my eyes, I was so much more like infatuated with the cover. It's such a beautiful variant, and I highly recommend grabbing it. I've seen that already on the Radiant Black Discord. We've had so many people posting their finds this week, their Radiant Black trade paperback finds, their Radiant Black 125 McCarthy's. There were a lot of Radiant Black 125s posted. So props to everyone on the Discord who managed to grab one. That's awesome.
Yeah, some other cool stuff from the panel. I mean, we confirmed that Satomi's 28 years old. I wasn't sure about that from the last issue, so we have a confirmation on her age, which was cool. And Kyle also mentioned that the Radiants all have enhanced strength and defensive capabilities that their suit allows for, and that they can all have a unique kind of energy blast on top of their unique powers.
Yeah, and on top of that, he mentioned I think the most important thing, which is all their powers are tied to black hole stuff. Both him and Michael said that. They said that each of their powers are tied to components of things that a black hole can do. So with that in mind, what do you guys think, we can expect from Radiant Yellow? Because we've already seen, we're not going to dive into the analysis of issue 7 right now, so don't do that. But we've read issue 7 and we've seen those few panels where he's shooting light beams. Well, what else do you think he can do? Because I also remember Higgins during the panel saying that his powers are the most complicated of all of them.
You know
Yeah.
how like black holes can, or they literally bend light? Maybe
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
is
Yeah,
something
bend
like that. Like
yeah.
he can manipulate or bend light, and light is energy at the end of the day. So
Maybe create illusions.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, black holes can bend light. And black holes can also when the event horizon in a black hole basically swallows light because not even light's fast enough to escape. So maybe he can also I don't know, swallow light somewhere.
Here we
something
go.
like that.
You ready for this? You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He said that green was originally what yellow was going to be, but they said
Yep.
it would be too much like Green Lantern, right? So
Yep.
probably light projection, stuff like that, right?
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, it was too, they had some back and forth, him and Michael and Marcelo, where they were trying to test out the green, but they said that it was too easily be mistakable for a Green Lantern, and it didn't very much feel like its own thing, whereas the yellow was much more, the yellow was better. And they said, Michael said that this was so long ago that as far as he's concerned, it's always been yellow. So yeah,
Energy
I
constructs.
yeah, of course, and I don't know. I know Matt has. I know Ali has obviously, but I've recently been delving into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run that Kyle Higgins did. I've had to. I'm not the biggest fan of Power Rangers, I'll admit, but I'm really enjoying reading Kyle Higgins' run. It's really really good, like really good. Like I say this as someone who the extent of his knowledge regarding Power Rangers is literally me just watching the show as a kid, like a little bit, and I don't even really remember much, but I remember enjoying it. So I've really been enjoying the run, and I wonder if there's any parallels between the dynamics of the Green Ranger Tommy in Mighty Morphin and Radiant Yellow, because Tommy, like I'm only like 5 or 6 issues in, but he's had some issues, and like Rita Repulsa's like all in his head and shit. So I wonder if Radiant Yellow might be one of the ones that might cause some conflict within the team or whatnot. Because right now the money is on Satomi, right? Because of the rift that exists between her and Radiant Black. But I wonder if something could happen to Radiant Yellow. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Also, I think like maybe he can make shields. Like we don't really have one whose like powers are defensive. I mean, Red's powers can be used defensively, but obviously, they can be either or. They can be aggressive or defensive. But I don't know. I feel like and they could all kind of be used defensively in a way, the portals for disappearing with Pink and like gravity. But like maybe like making like a full on shield. Like I feel like there's got to be something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
So yeah, no, the panel was good. We learned a lot, and it's always nice to see those guys tease stuff. I watched it after I actually watched it after I read seven, so we kind of, it was a different perspective, but it was a super enjoyable panel, and I can't wait until, we're back to doing cons in person and we can see them get the full-on Comic-Con treatment for such an awesome series.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting my book signed by Higgins. And speaking of that, today Higgins released the 11th newsletter, the 11th, post of the newsletter for his newsletter, the Black Market News. And I don't know if you guys have read it, but there's some awesome news. But he said, happy almost weekend, any epic adventure plans? And then he got into the uh, fact that, for those of you who've read Radiant Black 7, and if you haven't read Radiant Black 7, I think you should stop listening at this point because it's going to get really spoilery. We always cover spoilers in this issue. We're always up, or in this podcast, we're always up to date on everything. So, warning, fair warning out there right now. If you haven't read the issue, time to pause. Listen later. But yeah, right. So he shows some panels. Basically, he says that for those of you who've read Radiant Black 7, I think you've noticed that things are starting to get cosmic. And shout out to us, shout out to a lot of members of the Braiding Black podcast. We anticipated this even this soon. We were considering, what are the odds of them getting portaled out, or what are the odds of them going to space in this issue, right? Especially with the cover B of number 7 and number 8, like especially number 8 where Radiant Black, that amazing cover, he's sitting on a satellite or something in space. So I'm like, what if they're actually like gonna do it this early on? And they did it.
Yeah, even earlier than we thought they would.
Yeah, so we on the newsletter we get some preview pictures of issue 8, and we see Glitch Guy, and that's all I'm gonna say. Check out the preview pages of issue number 8 if you've read number 7. Super cool stuff. And then after we see that he says that that's Marcelo, Natalia, and Becca for you bringing the goods. So like I said earlier, very excited to see more more of Natalia's colors. I think they're so good. And another big moment this week, and a lot to talk about on this front, is the release of the Radiant Black trade paperback. Did you guys get one?
I'm going to grab mine next time I head into the shop, but it looks sweet and it's got some bells and some whistles that you showed me. Ali, did you get yours?
No, I tried to get it online, but I was a little too late. It went out of stock.
Yeah, he tried. So there were two options, special options for those of you in America and in the UK or England, I believe. There was an option of OK Comics where they were selling the trade paperbacks with like a custom plate or something. So that was really cool.
Mm.
And then there was the Golden Apple Comics promo that Kyle talked about where they came with like a custom inscription or something. And they were all for the same price, the normal price. They didn't cost anything more. So
if you live in
yeah.
the area, it's a steal for sure.
Oh yeah, I know there were a lot of people who were going to LA to get their trade paperbacks, and they're going to go get their trade paperbacks signed by Kyle Higgins because I don't know if it's already happened or not, but I heard that he was doing a signing there soon. So I'm pretty jealous of for all of you who are able to do that. Enjoy that. I think that's going to be wonderful. But yeah, like what a trade paperback! All those deals. It's a beautiful trade paperback. It's like 184 pages or something like that. It's pretty big, and beautiful cover, and there's some surprises in there. Like if you look inside on the very back, there's a Radiant language translator. So
That's my favorite part.
The
Honestly, I'd
Radiant
get it
Rosetta
just for
Stone.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Mara's out of business. You did great, Mara. Translating for us has been fantastic, but now we can do it ourselves, which is pretty sweet. So thankful for that. And, Image, there's no better comic publisher for getting your first volume of a comic book series. The price is always, they're like $10, usually US, which is, I mean, you can't beat that.
yeah, for 6 issues as well, and another surprise featured in the trade paperback, which I highly recommend checking out at a comic book. Like if you, even if you don't buy one, just check out the back if you're a fan and you have the single issue. It's pretty cool. But in the back, they have a gallery of all the covers for Radiant Black so far, like
Ooh.
prior to the time of release of the book, and even this includes a lot of the exclusive variants.
That's awesome. Yeah, you don't expect the variants too. Usually just the cover A's, but no, that's above and beyond.
Yeah, so a lot to look forward to in terms of the trade paperback. Great deal, good, value for money. Highly recommend checking that out, folks. And that's good for us because that means that this is a good opportunity for a lot of new readers to get into the Radiant Black series at a very good price. So for those of you online who are looking to get into it, this is your time.
Yeah, you can get completely caught up on the series for like $16 basically plus tax, so you can't beat that. And no, it's a perfect time for people to jump on the Radiant Black train because it is just it's going and
It's
it
only up
doesn't.
from here.
Yeah, it's not stopping. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, Ali recently was telling me about how he was on the hunt and he was so happy to
Oh
find
my
the
god,
Radiant Black
yeah.
cover A because they've been hard to find, eh?
Yeah, I actually found it on Free Comic Book Day. I was going from store to store, and I was just, getting the free comics for the day or whatever. But also, I was looking for specifically like cover A because I think that one is super unique and
yeah,
it's so colorful. And I just like from the moment I've seen it, I've really wanted that one. But thankfully, on my last store of the day, I found it.
nice. That's
Wow,
awesome.
that's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot going on in the world of Radiant Black. When we're half an hour in, we haven't even really touched on this issue yet. So
And this is my favorite part, and this is the last point that we're going to talk about before we bring up the issue 7 analysis. But today, Radiant Black number 10 covers were announced and they were shown in the Image November solicitations, or they weren't announced today, they were
yeah,
shown. Three amazing covers, but there's big news. We have an amazing cover A by Eleonora Carlini, beautiful cover, and then we've got a gorgeous, and I'm gonna be picking up all of these because I can't honestly decide between which one I
yeah,
like best. But oh my God, that's who did the ratio. Of course it is. And we got a gorgeous cover B by Igor Monti, and another surprise with him very soon. And we got an amazing cover C 125 by Declan Shalvey. So I'm gonna be picking up all those variants. But one thing that I think everyone's super excited to hear about that we just found out about today, and I can't wait to break the news is that there is going to be a Radiant Black Blacklight issue. Issue number 10 is going to have a special edition issue where it's going to be, what is it? It's going to be full fluorescent. So, yeah, it's gonna be printed with blacklight reactive fluorescent inks exclusively recolored by Igor Monti, and it's never going to be reprinted again, according to Kyle Higgins on his newsletter. So for those of you, it's going to be $9.99 US. Obviously you pre-order with the FSC, you get the FOC discount. So for those of you who, you love Radiant Black, or for those of you who just want to read this and experience it in a whole new light, literally pun intended. But I highly recommend getting in on this because it's not going to be reprinted, right? Like, yeah, it's $10. It's a bit steep, but when have we ever seen something done like this? I know during the 90s there were a lot of gimmicks, but I don't think we've ever seen something cool like this. So I know I'm gonna be picking up 2 or 3 copies. I'm super excited for this. This was literally like this was the kind of thing where once I heard the news, I was just like, I can't wait to get on the chat today. We're recording the podcast and talk about this Blacklight issue because my God, like I heard in the solicits, or I think was it during the SDCC panel where Michael and Kyle said that they're going to be going inside a black hole, and I think this is the issue where they're going to be doing it. At least that makes the most sense. So, how do y'all feel about this?
I mean, it looks like with the black light on this is definitely in contention for the coolest Radiant Black cover. Because actually seeing it with the black light on it is actually going to be like friggin' amazing. And I think what's going to be inside the pages is going to be even, it's going to match the awesomeness.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
it makes sense. It's like the whole trippy vibe. Even all three covers, at least like the ratio one is the most like normal looking one. But even then, he's still in space, and it looks like he's coming out of a black hole. And I was thinking too, if number 9 is like goodbye for Nathan or whatever, it would make sense to like for Marshall to like really give himself to the whole Radiant, I guess, community. I don't know.
Yeah, existence. Like he's really going
Yeah,
to be,
yeah.
exploring that. And I can't wait. I mean, that splash page is still like the coolest, I think, in the series. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like to see. I mean, I don't know if that's in a black hole or not, but it's got to be a similar aesthetic. And either way, I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I just love it. Like we've been talking about how every issue or every few months they've been taking new risks, doing new things. And one of the things I said before, and I think you've said before yourself too, is that we love this series because Higgins said that they were going to be taking a lot of risks with this creator-owned series, and he wasn't kidding. And a lot of creators sometimes they say that, but they don't fully embrace it. But in this case, No, like very much we have Kyle Higgins fully embracing like a lot of like the fact that this is a creator-owned comic, the fact that they have the opportunity to do something different here, and they're doing so many things with this
I mean,
comic book.
they killed the main character like what, 2 issues in, 3 issues in. That's
Like
pretty
four
risky
four
if you
issues
ask
in,
me.
but
Yeah.
I
yeah,
mean,
no, it's a big risk, yeah.
we've been, I mean, they've been engaging with, Power Rangers fans and,
Mhm.
fans of comic powers, and now drug users can rejoice with this blacklight. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, like, who doesn't love a blacklight? So this is really sweet. And I mean, they're making the blacklight to go with it too. Like, come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, and speaking of giveaways, we have some giveaways of our own that we're doing, and they're not gonna be as great as the the black market narrative giveaways, but we have some good news. First of all, I finally got in touch with Kyle Higgins and asked him if he wanted to be part of the podcast, and he said yes, with a condition. So this is a conditional yes. The condition was that once they hit 1.5K followers on Twitter, Kyle Higgins is going to make an appearance on the podcast, and he said he's going to answer. He might just answer any question that we have. But then he made a little, he put a little insert after that and said, but some of the answers might be redacted. So of course they might be.
If you guys, if the listeners have a question that you want to ask the Kyle Higgins on the podcast, submit them, and you never know, we just might ask it.
Yeah, we definitely will. So for those of you who are, first of all, for those of you who are interested in getting Higgins, on an episode of the Reading Black podcast, like, wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Just follow Black Market Narrative on Twitter, which is at Black Market Nair, N-A-R, on Twitter. They just have Twitter. I know some of you have been asking me if they have the Instagram. Sadly, I don't think they do yet, but as of right
600
now, it's
more,
just Twitter. Yeah, 600.
596
Yeah.
more, and we're in business, folks.
Exactly. So it's not too far away, but it's gonna take some time for sure. But we're hoping in a month or 2 months that we'll get there. So yeah, follow Black Market Nair, and once they get to 1,000 followers, we're gonna be doing a giveaway of our own. We're gonna be giving away a copy of the Radiant Black #5 second print Conquest Invincible Conquest homage cover by Marcelo Costa homaging Ryan Otley's art. So we're gonna be giving that away, and we
Bags
already
and
have.
board included with free tape on it too.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. You know how we get you bagged and boarded, of
That's
course.
gonna be loose with some like Doritos in there or something.
We gotta put it in a cereal box and ship it like that, straight up. Like, no,
Radiant, we might get Radiant Black cereal at some point. No, like Radiant O's sounds pretty good to me.
Radios, oh my God, little black holes, like
Yeah,
they're
dude.
black and white. Oh, that would be amazing.
With like marshmallow Radiant heads, come on.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that giveaway, and then we have another giveaway where we're giving away the Radiant Black trade paperback. Yep, you heard me, the Radiant Black trade paperback. We're gonna give away the first a copy of the trade paperback, collecting the first 6 issues and all the goodness that we mentioned earlier. All you have to do to be a part of this giveaway is follow us on either Instagram and slash or Twitter at Radiant Black Pod on Twitter and at Radiant Black Podcast on Instagram. If you follow us, all you have to do is send us a message, inbox, DM, whatever. What is your favorite radiant? Just say it. Radiant black, radiant yellow, radiant pink, whatever it is. Just send us, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. If you follow us on both social media accounts, you get 2 entries. And once we hit 250 followers on Twitter, we're going to be giving it. I think we're like 60 followers away, so it's not too bad. We're going to be giving away the trade paperback, and then we also have more giveaways for later, but that's for later. Some really cool stuff. So
Yeah, so the takeaway from the giveaway is follow us on our socials and message with your favorite Radiant, and good stuff might be coming your way.
yeah, exactly. Good cosmic stuff. There's a lot of awesome things to look forward to in terms of Radiant Black. So let's just finally dive into Radiant Black issue 7.
Yeah, and this was a hell of an issue. Let's get right into it. Like a portal, let's dive right in.
Yep. All right. So we start Radiant. There we go. We start Radiant Black 7, and obviously, as Matt brought up earlier, we get this gorgeous Radiant Black #7 cover A done by Danielle De Niculo, artist of Seven Secrets, fantastic artist. Highly recommend you check out his work.
It's like reading an anime. Yeah. It's his art.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it I feel like it would translate so well onto the small screen because it's like you said, it's anime, and
there's something that's called a manga, but like it feels like it's in motion. The art's so fluid.
Oh yeah, and Seven Secrets I feel like doesn't get the love it deserves. I've been following Seven Secrets for quite some time. I've been buying Seven Secrets since issue #1, like prior to issue #1's release. I have all the printings, I have pretty much all the ratios, and I love that series. I highly recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of Tom Taylor, if you're a fan of action or just like anime in general, you're probably gonna like it. It's really good. It's one of the really good indies out there. It's an ongoing, and yeah, you just get to see more of Danielle Di amazing artwork. So if you haven't checked out Seven Secrets, we always give love and respect to other comics here, whether they're
It's
indie or big two, and that's one of
Yeah,
them.
it's tailor made for people that like, adventures and like secrets and wonder and stuff like that. I mean, obviously secrets. The secrets are really cool. I mean, people are still trying to figure out what those are, and God, it's amazing. And it's got some really awesome characters, and it's really unique and diverse, and it's a fun story. So definitely check it out if you get the chance.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I still see a lot of shops with like number ones around or stuff like that. So it's not horrible in terms of trying to find Seven Secrets issues. It's they're still out there. So go look for them,
Yeah,
check it out. You won't regret it. And yeah, so we talked about this cover earlier, where the bastards lied to us, and we're just kidding. They're not really bastards. They're awesome, but it was just so funny seeing Fregato just like proclaim it there. But anyway, yeah, we're getting another issue with Higgins and Costa, the dynamic duo doing the art and writing, and then we get Natalia back on colors, and everyone else is the same. Becca Carey on letters, Michael's editing. You can see the cover has the rest of the Radiant team. That looks beautiful. Anyway, dive right in, and as we can see, unlike issue number 6 where we took a derail and focused more on Satomi, issue number 7 just dives literally right into it. We start and we're right where issue number 5 ended. We are face to face with the Radiants and the glitch guy.
yeah, we just call him Glitch. We don't know his official name yet. Could be Nathan for all we know, might not be, but yeah, it's Glitch, and he means business. He is not mincing any words. He has his beam katanas, and he's ready for a little tussle here.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, this is the kind of issue where you could really see like the coloring, like how important the coloring is and how amazing it is. Like look at the second page of this comic book, and it's a huge splash page where Glitch is just charging at the Radiant team with his swords, and those pink energy beams are just beautiful. Like the whole background, it's so kinetic, and I love this issue. I love the action, and it really, people have been talking about how Radiant Black's been a little bit slow in terms of building the universe, and it's there hasn't been enough action, but the last 3 issues have been super like full of action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been pedal to the metal for sure.
Yeah, especially this one. We really saw like an all-out fight twice, but I guess we'll get to the second one
And a
in a
world
little
tour.
bit. Yeah,
World tour. We
Yeah.
went to space for a second there. Like
Tokyo.
yeah, this was the most action packed and the most stuff I think happened in this issue, or at least like different venues and just like different locales and everything. This was a hell of a packed issue.
And it's the little things, you look at this page and there's almost like a minor distortion where you kind of see I don't know if like I'm sure you guys notice the distortion where the colors kind of blur and there's like a blur near their faces, and it adds so much to the effect of the comic book itself. You really feel the action. It's almost like a movie playing. It's so well done. So I give a lot of props and respect to the creative team for that. Like I really personally notice these things, and it really adds to my enjoyment of the comic book. And it's akin to like when you're reading Invincible, for example, and Ryan Ottley's artwork is so amazing and so detailed that when he does the blood, you get a sense for Ottley's like artwork and the
The
visceral nature
visceral,
of his
yeah,
art.
yeah.
Yeah, and then how it's like it's super bloody but super clean. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just so sharp. And yeah, this kind of reminds me of that in the sense, but in the cosmic sense, where that distortion really adds effect to the whole fight and really makes it seem like this is a battle with cosmic beings. So
You can
yeah.
you can feel the energy and like the weight of each like beam he throws, each punch he throws, each slice with the katana.
Oh
So
yeah.
my theory earlier about Yellow's powers on the page after the big splash page, like Glitch has a few of the powers that these guys have. Like we saw him
Yeah.
use like Red's thing. Like so he does make a shield. Like I don't know if Yellow could do this. I assume he would have done it though earlier on. So maybe he can't. But also you see that he has like those little hexagon kind of like fading in things. So maybe that could just be like light refracting differently off the particles. So that could be something Yellow could do. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean he seems to have little almost like mimics of their powers, but not like all the way. Because like
Not like
yeah,
fully, yeah. It's like
yeah,
a little
because
bit here and
he,
there.
he can teleport, he can't fly, but he can he can, he does have like his hands do glow all purple and weird. Like there's a, we'll talk about that later. But yeah,
He's
we
got
see,
capabilities, pun intended. I
yeah,
didn't realize.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
speaking of yellow, I actually didn't notice this until like a few moments ago. Yellow's the only one without eyes,
Yeah,
other
oh
than
yeah,
Glitch. He has
yeah,
the
the
and he
visor.
mentions it too. He's
yeah,
kind of jealous that the other guys have
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we see this awesome page with just Glitch charging at all the radiants, showing what he's made of, showing or what they're made of, showing, his powers and just teleporting, almost like minor teleportation. We got like he conjures a shield around him, all these hexagonal shapes. He's got two katanas that are glowing, a gun, helmet. He also has a visor, and for the first time we see Radiant Yellow spring into action here. You see some light conjure around his arms, and he shoots little light beams at Glitch. But we see Glitch pull out like these. They almost look like kind of,
Spheres. They're
yeah,
the
these
T
like little,
spheres.
yeah, they look like those plasma grenades from Halo, They just like
Yeah.
zap
He just
radiant
used a bubble
yellow.
shield. Why not rip the plasma grenades out? It's like, come on.
Yeah, and then you see like radiant red charge, trying to sneak up on Glitch from behind her
Hmm.
hand. You see her hand, turn into like the red absorption glow effect, but she misses him because he anticipates the attack and dodges her. And then you see his hands glowing purple. So maybe he does have like iteration of their powers.
Yeah, either way, it's clobbering time.
Yeah, so they're fighting. It's intense and beautiful artwork from Marcelo Costa. We always talk about how he does dynamic, amazing. His panels are always full of so much energy, literally and figuratively. And there's just it's just amazing. So we're seeing them fighting. Radiant Blood. We can clearly get the sense that this team, they don't know each other. They're all overwhelmed. They're not acting like as one. They're not there's no cohesion between them. Clearly, they're all just a bunch of people who just met, and Glitch is taking advantage of this. And we get this panel where I was genuinely like worried for Marshall on this. I was like, are we gonna fucking lose Marshall? And then Eva just saves his ass through a portal at the last second.
Yeah, at first I thought he was using gravity to stop the sword coming down on his head. That's what I first thought before I noticed the whole, the pink energy portal there.
Yeah, and so he falls through the portal, lands on his ass, gets bumped into by another vehicle, and then they get one of the most beautiful pages in this issue. They're just in the middle of Tokyo, skyscrapers all around them, people all around them, and Marshall's freaking out. He's like, "What the hell? We're in Tokyo? How the hell did we get here?" And of course, we get the infamous puke panel next.
Radiant
Yeah,
puke.
and of course we get confirmation that Ordinary Gods is big in Japan as well. We get to see them on the billboard, which is really sweet. Nice little shout out. And I do have to say that is probably my favorite speech bubble, like at least like top 5 when Marshall's getting hit by the car and he just goes, God damn it, like it's just like emotional. I love that so much.
But
Oh
I
yeah,
love like Red Yellow's response to Radiant Black when he's like, "That's a gross way to figure out we can do that," and then it gets all grim. And he's like, "Yeah, a buddy of mine turned me on to it," and I'm just like, "Oh god damn it!" Like we knew Nathan was going to be brought up some way, and
yeah,
yeah,
it's the callback.
you get the eyes that we've always talked about, how the eyes like show so much emotion. You could see at that moment Marshall's distressed because he's bringing up his injured
Mm.
friend again, and that's where we see that the team starts to get to know each other a little bit more. And Yellow's asking him, "Is that the friend who's in the coma, the one that you took the radiant from?" And this is the first time where Marshall's explaining his situation, saying, the radiant left him, and there was this robot, and he welcomed you to existence. And he said, "Yeah." So before we had questions about whether the other radiants can see the robot or see their own version of the robot, and I guess by he was like, "Oh, he welcomes you to existence." Basically, like he knew, like he went through it himself. So does that mean that all of these Radiants share the same, or have seen the same mecha beings? Oh, Wendell,
Repeat
yeah,
that, yeah.
sorry. So Wendell, yeah. So Wendell said that he welcomed you to existence. So clearly he also knew. Like it's as if that he's gone through that himself. So does that mean that Wendell himself has also seen the mecha and he's also been to existence, and they're all synchronized to existence in their own way?
Yeah, presumably.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we don't really have solid confirmation it's the same robot. It could have been different robots that gave them different
True.
powers, but
True.
they're definitely connected some way.
True.
I'm hoping we get to see that story further down the line as well, how
Yeah.
Yellow and Pink met. I'm sure we will see that eventually, maybe in for like the 12th issue, or I don't think we're gonna have to
Oh,
wait as long
I
as like
thought
the
they meant
25th.
over bonding over foreign films. No, no, I'm just kidding. But
It's weird she picked films too of all the lies to Marshall, like the movie connoisseur of the
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. But yeah, so in the next panel, we see that there's still a lot of tension between the Radiant team because although Wendell and Marshall are getting to know each other, yeah, he's like, all thanks to a resident red asshole here. And then he throws some of that wrath towards Pink, where he's like, also Pink, hey, thanks for the save. Your generation really does like living on the edge, huh? Nice and serrated. Basically, that's the adult way of calling Pink an edgelord.
Or a
He literally
millennial
just
too.
called her an edgelord. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's like an edgelord millennial. This is exactly
Yeah,
what he just did.
Peacemaker
So
over here, friggin' hobbyist. Jesus.
yeah, so yeah, he's like, you had that portal shit up your sleeve the whole time, and you finally decided to roll up and grace us with your talent. And then she's like, you know what? Like, I can talk for myself. It drains me. And then Marshall's all confused and just being a colossal fuck up at this point. He's like, talking for yourself drains you. And this is where I actually really started to like Ava because we get to see some of her sass, and she just doesn't fuck around. She's just like gonna call you out on your shit. Kind of reminds me of the sister of the kid from Strange Adventures, who just was like all up on everyone's shit in season 2 or 3 it was. So, but she's just like, oh my
Oh, Stranger
god,
Things.
yeah, Stranger Things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god, are you actually an idiot? I hope, because otherwise we should get you to a hospital like 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah,
And
the sister's
Marcia's
great.
just like, hey, fuck you. And she's like, portals, teleporting, it's draining. Man, I jumped us from Sydney to Chicago and then Tokyo 2 minutes later. Come on, that's fucking insane. So that is insane. Like you think, and I'm glad that we get an answer here because we start to get an idea of not only what their powers are, but what their limits are here too. And we see that, Radiant Pink can't just like throw all these portals open willy-nilly.
Yeah, they're still learning. Like later on, they mentioned leveling up. It's like playing a D&D campaign. Like the first time around, it's going to be slow, but eventually you're going to get some cool spells, not just cantrips. But I really enjoy that element of like it's a cool universe with awesome characters, but also just wondering where their powers can go is a really fun mental exercise.
Yeah, like maybe
Yeah,
later on she could port bigger stuff,
totally.
cities, planets. Who
Or
knows?
what
No.
if you mix the gravity with that? Could you make like a gravity well and like pull them into something and just drop them in the black hole with Radiant Black and Radiant Pink's powers? I don't
There's gonna
Oh
be
my god.
Radiant Splitgate next up in here.
know.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
no, but yeah, it's a fascinating thing because we're getting a lot of we're just finding out a lot of interesting, bits of information in this issue. And it's a really cool way to introduce us to like the team dynamic slowly, how they basically start to work together because we know eventually they're gonna start working together in a greater capacity. But yeah, so we see the four of them in the panel, and Satomi's like, "Are we really gonna do this here?" And Marshall's this like not letting this beef go. I mean, I understand, of course, with good reason, but like given the moment, you'd think that there'd be priorities, but he just starts raging at Satomi, telling her, "You have no voice in this."
I don't know, man. It's gonna take a lot to get her off his shit list. Like a
Oh,
lot.
That's his boy. I mean, I'd be pissed. I can't blame Marshall, but maybe now's not the time. And he does say like we're not done later on after this. He's like, yeah, we're not finished here. Like this isn't over.
yeah, so we see that Wendell is the most, reasonable from all of them in terms of trying to, figure out their situation. He's trying to determine, what Glitch's next move is, and he says that they should get out of Tokyo because it wouldn't be ideal for them to try to deal with him in a crowd, in front of a crowd full of people. So Marshall decides to finally step up and says, "Let's go." And Ava's like, "I'm still, she's still recharging. Give me a sec." And he's just like, "Take a break. It's time to try something else." And we see that this is the first time that each of the Radiants are stepping up and using their powers basically to escape a certain situation. And in this case, Marshall decides to just fly them out of there. So we see that they can't fly. Marshall's the only one that can fly, and he could tether them to his, his gravitational pull and fly them with him, but he lets Red know that their shit ain't done and that that's going to be
Hmm.
handled later, and he just flies them out of Tokyo. And then we get one of my favorite moments in the whole comic, and I knew immediately when I read this that this was going to be the favorite moment. A lot of people who read this, and
Yeah.
you get two Japanese dudes just looking up at the sky, and then they just turn, and then it's like, what Sentai is that? We just know that everybody's going to be enjoying that. We know a lot of people who read this are fans of Tokusatsu. A lot of people who read Radiant Black are fans of
Oh yeah.
Power Rangers and Kamen Rider and everything. So I know people enjoyed that. But yeah, we see them flying over Japan. They're still talking, getting to know each other. At this point, Radiant Yellow is describing his encounter with Glitch. He just said he just show up. We didn't know what his name was. Uh, four. I counted at least four primary attack types. Bust the glitch out, makes your molecules feel shifted. Impressive technology. So clearly, this person they're dealing with, Glitch, he also has And maybe he has an idea of what their powers are or exposure to their powers in some capacity because it seems like he understands how to nullify them.
It sounds like he has more than like even the sum of their powers too. Because I correct me if I'm wrong, but do any of them shift other people's molecules? Maybe Red a little bit, but
He could be getting powers from killing other Radiants too, as well. Like I don't
ooh,
know
yeah,
what's
that's a good
going on
idea.
there. I think that we might have discussed that. Also, one thing, would it be winter in Tokyo and winter back in the U.S.? I don't know if that's a continuity error. But still, either way, I mean,
Uh,
that's just like a small minor nitpick in like an
all
amazing
right.
series. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. The shifting thing is new. I don't know if anyone else has that ability. Maybe there's other radiants. Because what didn't we see green coming out of like the color scheme for Glitch like earlier on or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, and you can still see weird colors coming out of Glitch in different panels of this book. So there's a lot more to Glitch that we don't know about, and I think a lot of that's set up for next issue. But we see in this one that Radiant Pink makes a good point saying she says we don't know that it's tech. Honestly, the only thing we know for sure is that this dude's hella set on killing us. And one thing I appreciate is the fact of when you're using like words or speech or vernacular that the youth use, I appreciate like the authenticity of it. Hella and like that. Like Ava does sound much younger than a lot of the other
Yeah, she's
Radiants.
definitely
Yeah.
like Gen Z, and then
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also
Yellow is
Wendell,
like the oldest.
yeah,
Yeah,
Wendell.
Wendell
Wendell's the
stands out
oldest.
because he's got to be at least 15 years older
Yeah,
than everyone else.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, and that's where I feel like his demeanor and his presence kind of makes that known. He's much more rational, he's much more calm, he's much
yeah.
more like thinking about the larger problem at hand and not getting caught in like the bickery team bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Radiant Black asks, "So how did you two hook up? Who are you anyway?" And this is another lovely moment where Ava's just like, "We bonded over foreign films, old movies in general. Honestly, it's a passion. I always say the less color in a film, the better." And then Marshall's like, "Wait, really?" It's like in a moment he was just like, "Oh, are these like my people? Like, are these like my people? I mean, did I just
He
like run
almost
into
got
some?"
excited for a
Yeah,
second there.
he's just probably
No,
like,
idiot
are you
right
guys like
after.
one of the customers? Like, they come to my shop? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, is this like, you know what I mean? Like, no, we just get the best reaction from Ava. She's just so funny. She's just like, no, idiot. Why the hell would I tell you who I am? I don't know who you are. And then he says, that doesn't stop you from taking your helmet off the second you met me. And then this is the first time we realized that maybe not everyone's as comfortable with the powers as maybe Marshall or Nathan was, where she says, these things are weird, okay? I can only take them so much helmet head. Helmet head, I love that. That's a perfect way to describe the
Yeah.
roundness of like Radiance when they're in their costume, helmet head.
Yeah,
But
and thinking about what it's like to have your head in that, I don't know if it's Tony Stark AI popping up around your face or what,
Oh,
but
got some
you know,
AC in it too.
yeah, exactly. It's nice to
totally.
breathe.
Yeah, so and then he's like, "Dare I ask what the hell's your deal?" And we see him turning on Satomi, and we see that things between them are still very tense. She just tells him that she didn't mean to hurt Nathan, and that's all he really needs to know. And I feel like Satomi, you're not helping the cause here. You're not really trying to improve things with you here. She's just like if she gave a little more of a better answer, I feel like it would have maybe lessen the tension between the two. But this doesn't really help.
What was that?
I was just gonna say she's not a bad person, right? Like when we first were introduced to Radiant Red, like we thought they were a villain, right? They were robbing banks, they were
Mm.
beating up Nathan, but like now that we get to know more of her, she obviously feels bad about it, and like there has to be some kind of redemption arc for her.
And even like we thought it was a he, right? Like there's a lot.
Yeah,
She covers herself up. She has to, put on this facade to hopefully save her family and just, make up for Owen's, just sabotaging their whole
yeah.
livelihood. Red is at heart, she's a good person. She should not have, she was too aggressive with the building. I think that's her, greatest sin, robbing a bank. I don't know. I don't really, you shouldn't be robbing banks, folks. But I mean, there's worse crimes. We're not gonna
Yeah,
tier list crimes right now, but
I think she just got caught up in like the emotion and like the craziness of it all. I don't think she expected things to go here after, deciding to impulsively rob a bank. So probably a little bit defensive, just, worried about herself. And I can understand that.
and
But
she's still raw with these emotions. She's dealing with potentially being a murderer, whether she wanted to or not. That's it's she's not teaching right now, but she's not ready for an after school special. She's a little pissed off. It's rough.
oh yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of little things that if you look at this issue, you get to see more insights into the characters and who they are as people. And you see like where he's explaining to her in the reply where he's like, yeah, sorry, but that's absolutely not all I need to know. Like one, why rob multiple banks on multiple nights? B, how the hell did you find Nathan? And then three, why did the body do? But if you look at one, B, and three, they're all like written in different
Yeah,
ways. He's like trying to be as obnoxious as possible. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like
So,
1B and then I.
yeah,
This was the
yeah,
Yeah.
snarkiest issue, bar none, of
yeah.
the series.
Oh yeah, and then I just love I don't know if this is Becca, I don't know if this is Costa, or I don't know if this is Natalia or all three of them together, but I fucking love that panel where they're talking and then you see like the little hexagon shapes just start to appear behind them and you know what's about to go down. You know Glitch is about to just pop the trunk on their asses. And my God, he does. He just like literally just teleports behind them out of nowhere unexpectedly, dives straight down for Nathan. I mean, talk about like an instant one hit KO. He just tries to go for the guy flying them all and try to take them all down. Very clever. That's what makes me think even more that he has an understanding of what their powers are. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, maybe he looked from far away and saw that they were all glowing blue, and hence the gravitational tether of Marshall was moving them. But I bet he just also, or they also have an understanding of what the fuck is going on here. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't even notice those were hexagons in that panel. They just look like polka dots. But yeah, you're right. They are hexagons there. I need thicker glasses. No, I'm just kidding. I do not need thicker glasses. But yeah, no, it is cool. I love that. Just showing up out of nowhere. And I don't know if he's got like, he can see where he's going to go. Cause I don't know if there's enough time to come out of the portal and go right for Marshall, right? Like maybe he has like foresight to where they are. Cause he has to have some kind of tracker on them, right? To know where they are.
But
Yeah,
is it really a portal though? Kind of like Pink's? It looks like more like what's his
Just
name?
straight
Nightcrawler
teleport.
from X-Men. Yeah, where he
Yeah.
like kind of
yeah,
just vanishes and then
yeah.
reappears.
Or Azazel or whatever his name is.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's weird because what if he's following their energy like projection or their energy signatures? That's how they're tracking them down. Maybe he has like
Like a scouter,
this
like
all
Dragon Ball
being
Z style.
yeah, this whole comic being associated with like light and whatnot. Maybe he has a way to track their energy signatures, or you know what I mean?
That's a
I
good
mean,
bet.
yeah, so he just appears and he just grabs Nathan, and as they're all just plummeting down, I love like Wendell just yelling, "Kids, wake up! None of us can fly!" It's just like straight to business again. I like Eva's impulsive like actions. She just drops a bunch of portals, basically saves everyone's life very fast, and this is
Worst
what I'm.
worst case scenario to land. Could they not like shoot energy beams to like propel them off the ground to like slow their landing? Probably, right? I assume.
Maybe, but I think the
Yeah, but
idea
Marshall was
here.
knocked out, no?
True. Marshall would just land on his head.
Yeah,
That's a good
he's
point.
pretty he's disoriented, and I think the idea here is that they're all still like they're all fresh. They all don't know what the hell they're doing. They're all like amateurs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Mark Grayson back in the first like 10 issues of Invincible, where you could tell like he's a noob, like he's still forgetting to do things. He like you know what I mean? Like he makes a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of mistakes at the
We're
beginning, and I
still
feel
learning.
like yeah, I feel like very much here that's on display where you can see they're still learning. Like even Radiant Pink, like I don't know if he even meant to teleport them where they ended up getting teleported. Like to you see them, they fall, they all get teleported, and we see that in the next panel. This is where shit really goes down. This is the part of the comic that had me
You're like, whoa.
like yeah, this is the jaw, like pick up my jaw from the ground moment because this has huge implications for the world of Radiant Black. Because for a second here, we change from Radiant Black to Tech Jack. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like it gets pretty crazy. You see that like the portal opens in the middle of space. There's some like distortion effect on the portal, or some a little bit of like static coming out from like I'm assuming uh, glitch colliding on the other side, and you see Eva and Marshall just fall out, and they're literally in space. And he's asking Eva, he's like, can you hear me?" And apparently they can hear themselves in like stereo, which is really cool. Like, oh my God, like we're getting an idea of their powers even more. Maybe they share like a hub in their mind or something where they
And
can
you have to be within
communicate.
radius, right?
Yeah,
Because they couldn't
yeah,
hear everyone else, or they weren't calling out to everyone else. So I don't know. Just I
yeah.
guess these two.
Yeah, and he was like she was like space. I was shooting for a mile, man. You know how hard it is to map three portals at once. And so she like accidentally portaled them to the middle of space. And oh my God, the next panel you get this incredible jaw-dropping
I think it's the second
splash
coolest
page.
splash page of the series.
Oh yeah, you get this incredible splash page where it's just Marshall and Eva fully surprised by a literal space war, just battles like in front of their face, just ships shooting at other ships. You got I don't know what the fuck those beings are, whether they're robots or not, mechas, just shooting at other mechas, all these color coded robots. It's all just craziness, beautiful, just planet in the background. You got the stars. Seriously, this is a beautiful splash page. This is why I love Radiant Black. This is why I read Radiant Black for stuff like this. And my God, Kyle was tweeting before the release of issue 7 by a few days saying, I can't wait for you guys to see where this goes. To everyone, I can't wait for you guys to see where we're going with this. And I just retweeted, like, he's like, can you guys guess where we're going next issue? And I was like, oh, we're going to, like, space, right? We're going to cosmic, and we went to fucking space. Like, look at this. This is straight up, like, tech jacket vibes, kind of craziness. You just see.
That's kind of what I wanted to say. Remember how in Invincible, at least in the beginning, it was very like Earth centered. You had Cecil, you had the Guardians of the Globe,
Yeah.
whatever. Then eventually the series grew to be about the universe, right?
And eventually you spend
this
most of your
might
time
be
in space.
exactly, yeah. But it barely spent any time on Earth. Now it feels like this is kind of like a teaser into what's going to happen down the line.
Yeah, I mean, and when we've talked about this before, we've been saying it's called Radiant Black. It's a series that's protagonists center around black hole capabilities and black hole abilities. So we've been waiting for that space part, and not just like, oh, go fix a satellite or whatever kind of thing they had Invincible do at the beginning before he really started going to Mars and doing all those things. But here it's like they just got teleported into a middle of a literal battle. Like this is like and I just love this next page where they just look up and they're just in utter shock. One of the most amazing things, the eyes convey so much emotion, and the beings just
I
turn.
have the
It's like,
robots too, yeah.
when you're like playing like a video game like World of Warcraft and you accidentally mount through like a zone that's like higher level than you, and you just get attacked by these fucking like mobs that have no level, and you're just like, you're gonna die. It just feels like that's the moment. Like the aggro just changed towards them, and they're like, "Oh shit!" She's just like, "You have to tell Marshall's like, you have to teleport us right now." She's like, "It's too far." And he's like, "You just did it." And she's like, "I don't know how." And he's like, "Right now, get us out of here." And you see the beings circle closer, and honestly, they kind of look like the beings, the Cathal from Oblivion Song.
Yeah, when you were saying they kind of look like, I was like, I think I know what he's gonna say, and and I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Oblivion Song is fantastic. So I like that little, like, that little moment of like, oh wow, it does look kind of like that a little bit. That's awesome. They're just freaking out, and he tells her to think of
Japanese
a
forest.
Japanese forest, and that he's gonna hit her with everything he's got. So I'm assuming he like supercharges her with some energy or something. And they do it, and he says now, and they manage to portal out right at the last second, and they're hugging and celebrating, and this is the first time where you see the team kind of like getting along, but they're so focused on the moment of like just the fact that they escaped with their lives that they don't realize they ported straight into ordinary gods. I'm just kidding, they ported straight into Russia. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got no time to visit our babushkas here though, because like it's heating up. But I really I like that. I didn't know that with Red that when that they can supercharge each other's powers. That's how they get out of this. When Marshall was saying like, oh, our black holes have the training wheels on. We've got some level ups for sure. The red one gave me a cape. It was dope. Like I didn't quite realize that he specifically got the cape from her. Like I guess I didn't think of it. But realizing the way the powers interact with each other, that's really cool, and I can't wait to see where that goes.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, and it's just so weird because we see that also it doesn't seem like Radiant Pink has a full like grip on her powers just yet. She's still making mistakes, still porting to places that she didn't mean to port to, and this is really tense because for the first time the team, they're flung together from the situations of what happened, or from the scenario of what happened in issue number 5, and then they have to just do whatever they can. But right now they're not only half a team because they're split into two pairs of two. We see that the other two have no real way of getting back to them. So
No.
in a way, you really get to understand how the dynamics of the team they're going to work, and how important each Radiant is to one another.
It's true, and it's nice to have these two groups broken up. Like at least I'm sure Satomi's nice enough to get happy to not be getting shit from from Radiant Black right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be screwed out here. I mean, they're just looking for a shop. Like, you're in the middle of the woods. Like, you don't really think. I just kind of assumed that they could all fly until this issue, but I guess they obviously they can't. They don't have control of gravity. So, whatever Yellow's power is, it has nothing to do with travel. Otherwise, they wouldn't be stranded out here.
Red and Yellow are just, they're making their way through this snowed forest. They're trying to figure out like where they are, trying to look for any signs of other people. And there's Satomi says she can't believe she haven't found at least a shop by now. And he says that he's a little bit reassured because he saw Eva fall through a portal and take Marshall. They know for a fact that they're somewhere. I'm like, okay, I guess that's kind of reassuring. But they're both hung up on the fact that they don't know where Glitch is. And I like that Wendell calls him our glitchy friend, because I feel like that's just a direct like a reference almost to the Discord, because everybody on the Discord calls him glitchy. Nobody like nobody knows what he's called.
Yeah,
We just straight like I don't even think Kyle ever like said that name before this issue. I think we just straight up started calling him Glitch because that's what he looked like, because he's just glitching out.
it's
I thought
fitting.
that was a really cool. Yeah, I thought that was cool of Kyle to put like a glitchy friend. So yeah, props to that. We see that Wendell and Satomi are kind of surprised because they're shocked, and you turn the page and you're surprised to see that Glitch is right there in front of them, knocked out. His helmet's kind of smashed, and the issue ends with Wendell saying, "Let's get some goddamn answers." Well, damn.
That's
Well, I
me
guess he can't
every
fly
fourth
either.
Wednesday. Yeah, or something like I guess maybe like hitting the portal. Maybe like he flew at the portal and it closed, and it must have screwed
Yeah.
him up somehow.
Yeah.
This issue just flew by when you're reading it because there's so much like action and cool stuff going on. It went at a breakneck pace, but it's a cool cliffhanger for sure, and 8 can't come any sooner.
I feel like every issue it's been breadcrumbs of answers, you know what I mean? We've been slowly getting some answers, really expanding the world. There's been a lot of world building these last few issues, but I'm also like I hope Kyle revisits the issues of Chicago, because I know Chicago is going to be a large focus of the series too. I know it's going to be cosmic, but I also want to see like what happened to the Burnett's, like what happened to the cops, what happened.
Kathy. Don't forget
Yeah,
Kathy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What happened to
Kathy.
Kathy? We gotta find out about what's up with Kathy, and we gotta get some goddamn answers about Glitch. But I guess that's what's gonna happen in the next issue.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I want to see what happens. Like it's been a really fun ride, and knowing you don't see anyone saying the series is too slow now. That's for sure.
No, and we go down, we scroll down, and we look. There's some blackmail from Reading Black, fan mail. Obviously, everyone checked that out. Some cool stuff. And then we see another Marshall School of Business featured in this issue, which is always a welcome addition. Writer Melissa Flores of Riftside Academy, the ones that, including the Unleash backups and Radiant Black. She did this Marshall School of Business. She's
She
a
did the
great
second one,
writer.
yeah. She's this is
Yeah,
her second, 2 of the 3
yeah, yeah,
Marshall
yeah.
School of Business.
So always looking forward to more from her. Check out her work. Check out Riftside Academy and the Unleashed backup stories and Radiant Black. There was another one in this issue, and it was really awesome because the one in this issue had a kid, like literally right as you see it, holding a Radiant Black action figure and playing with it. And if you've been around on, Radiant Black Discord, or if you've been around on Twitter or any of the social media where the community's been talking Radiant Black, there's been a lot of buzz regarding merch coming soon to like Black Market Narrative and to like, their website and everything. We already know that the helmet's going to be sold soon.
Hopefully, it's actually like a legit tease, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
in
hoping. Yeah.
in universe. Hopefully, that's like Kyle Higgins' like nephew who got like a production, like a pre-production copy of the action figure. Who knows? But the art in the Unleashed section was really awesome too. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying the Unleashed backup stories. We haven't talked about it much the first few times because I don't think we really understood what was going on. But seeing it here in the third installment, we get to see more of what's going on. We finally see the characters together, and I gotta say, it's been really cool. So looking forward to the next part on the next issue, hopefully. But yeah, for those of you who are fans of Strawberry and of Melissa, check it out. It's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice treat. Like Radiant Black, I mean, it just keeps delivering the issues. They've got 2 different like stories or recurring bits now in the back issues. It's they're going all out, all the creators. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and like we said, we've been working really hard here trying to get others on the podcast. I already spoke with Ryan from the Invincible podcast, and I told them that we would like to do a collaboration with them, get together and talk Radiant Black or Invincible or whatever. And, they said that they would love to do that. So sometime in October, we're going to be getting together with the Invincible podcast and hopefully releasing an episode of the podcast with all of us on there. So there's that to look forward to. And, like we said earlier, as far as soon as we get more followers for the Black Market Twitter narrative account, we're gonna get Kyle Higgins on here. We're gonna talk to him, and he said that he's gonna answer our questions. So we're gonna fucking ask him all the questions we can. And yeah, those are 2 things that are awesome for us and awesome for our listeners. Something that we can all look forward to. I know I'm really looking forward to recording with the guys from the Invincible podcast, and I'm also really looking forward to finally getting to talk to Kyle Higgins on the podcast, because we've really wanted to do that for a while but haven't found the right opportunity to ask until recently. With that being said, follow Black Market Narrative on Twitter. check out their website, blackmarket.la. Check out their giveaways that they're going to be having more of soon. And most importantly, congratulations to the winners of the three giveaways that have already been done. Awesome prizes, awesome gesture from the Black Market Narrative as their the opening gesture for the account. And yeah, just be on the lookout for more.
Yeah, the future's radiant. It's I'm super impressed with the amount of merch that they have out in just like a few issues. Like even like Skybound doesn't drop as much merch for their like ongoing series or their newer books as Radiant Black has. Like it's really impressive.
Yeah, we've already seen like at the time of speaking, I know that Tifa had their own like Things from Another World had their own exclusive variant for the trade paperback itself. I think Cherish Chen got one, so good for her. For those of you who are looking for more exclusives and for the fans of like, getting all those Radiant Black variants, I'm pretty sure there's another Tifa exclusive that's back up for Radiant Black number 7, or sorry, number 8, number 7 or 8, one of them that has Glitch Guy on the cover. Really cool cover. So yeah, be on the lookout for those variants. It's just been like, think about the last month and how much Radiant Black we've gotten in the last month beyond just the issues. We've gotten so much content. We got the SDCC panels. We got like 3 or 2 installments of the newsletters from Kyle. We got all this information, all this news regarding them featuring on the podcast soon, hopefully. So yeah, and there's been the launch of the Black Market Narrative Twitter account, launch of the Black Market website, and once again, gotta mention a fantastic job by Michael on designing the websites and everything. We got all these solicits to look at, and one good way to end with this episode is to talk about the solicits for Radiant Black number 10, and we're looking at the website here, and it says under the solicitation, "Welcome to existence, unimaginable infinity beyond space and time. Marshall is trapped there, but how and why? Can he make it out? And what is a catalyst?" We heard the rumors that Kyle was going to be, from the SDC panel, that they were going to go be inside a black hole. Are we thinking that this is the issue, that existence is maybe inside a black hole?
Likely, right?
That
Like
makes a lot of sense.
I feel like it's likely, and I'm wondering what a catalyst is. Could that be what shoots out the radiant? Could it be an event, or is it like an actual object? Maybe it's like the core of where the radiant power comes from. I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many questions. I mean, catalyst, that's such a like broad range. It could be anything. It could be the mecha. It could be a process. It could be anything. Like I said, it's always breadcrumbs, but it always has us talking. It always has us thinking about what's going on out there.
Yeah, and a catalyst implies the existence of a dogolist, so I'm really interested to see where that. No, that's the dumbest thing I've said on the podcast. Like so far.
I like it.
I was on Twitter earlier, and I saw like Danielle Tiniculo tweet out like, "Finally, we can show you our kitty ranger," and it was like a cat ranger, and I was like, I couldn't tell if it was real or not, like, because I don't read like the new Power Rangers by Ryan Parrott or whatever. So like, someone out there, like, let me know if there's actually a kitty ranger, because if it is, I'm 100% buying that issue. Are you fucking kidding me? A cat Power Ranger? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's all I need. I mean, like Dexter needs an equal or whatever in the comics realm, so let's get a good cat there with the Power Rangers get up. I'm down.
That Blacklight, Radiant Black number 10, I feel like that's going to be a big one. And, I just saw another tweet from Michael Basuto just now saying, guys, like, this Blacklight edition is never going to be reprinted regardless of how well it does, blah, blah. So for those of you who are thinking, are on the fence about getting the Blacklight edition for number 10 because it's $10, this is exactly what he said. He said, "It's probably worth noting that we might never reprint this version of this issue. Even if it sells out at the distributor, there'd have to be a lot of interest to make a second printing worthwhile. If you want one, make sure your local shop orders one for you." Those of you who are potentially interested, who haven't quite, leaned into it yet, really consider it, because it seems like they're not going to be reprinting it. And we're all fans of Radiant Black here. Can't imagine an experience of reading a Radiant Black issue in fluorescent like Blacklight. That's just gonna, and by Igor Monti, no less. Like, that's a treat all on its own.
Yeah, I bought like a Doctor Strange Funko Pop, like the Blacklight one, and it's like super sweet. And I was like, shit, I don't have a Blacklight, but like it does look cool. Now I will be having at least like a mini Blacklight keychain. Plus, like I'm just gonna put that on my keys anyway, so I can just like rep Radiant Black wherever I go.
Yeah. What's the last order date for that, the FOC?
For Radiant Black number 10?
Yeah,
November. It's the release date is November 18, and
Yeah, it's advanced
FOC
pre-sale right now.
It's usually 2 to 3 weeks before, so I would say like the end of October.
Cool.
That's when you have to get it. Yeah, so by the end of should be by the last week of October or the first week of November, FOC. So yeah, you guys have plenty of time to get your orders in for Radiant Black issue 10 and issue 9. I believe Kyle said that issue 8 FOC is on Monday, and that's why they released the teaser for the teaser pages on the newsletter for Radiant Black number 8. You could see those panels we discussed earlier with Glitch Guy just floating through space and some cool stuff happens. So don't forget that Radiant Black issue number 8 is on FOC Monday, and it has amazing variants. There's a gorgeous cover A by Felipe Watanabe, artist of Ordinary Gods. I really love this cover he did. We've got the entire team and Glitch Guy just flashing his pink sword. It's pretty brutal. We've got a cover B by Jose Carlos. Personally, one of my favorite covers of the entire run. I really love it. I don't know why. It really reminds me of the scene of Invincible where Invincible's sitting on the rocket to Mars eating his sandwich. Radiant Black and Marshall sitting here in a very similar pose.
Yeah, you're right. I like that.
Yeah, and then we've got an amazing cover C 125 variant by Tyler Kirkham, one of Canada's finest. Y'all know me and Matt are going to be trying to get this variant because it's Tyler Kirkham. But this is, I think, another amazing variant. Like this is probably the best cover of Glitch Guy yet, to be honest.
Probably. I mean, it's stiff competition in the cover game, but Glitch hasn't been on too many covers, so yeah, it's definitely probably the best.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. We covered everything. Anyone else want to add before we close up?
No, I'm just hoping that when I stop recording here, I get to turn AEW and see the return of CM Punk. But wrestling fans out there, hopefully pray for me. Pray for me.
And we know we haven't released an episode of Radiant Roster yet, so we've just been waiting for Ali and other people to get caught up on their reading because they're slow. So if you want to give anyone shit, give them all the shit online. Just spam them. But Ali finally read Stray Dogs, and we're gonna be recording an episode of Radiant Roster later this week where we're gonna talk about Stray Dogs. We're gonna talk about some other comics, hopefully like Nightwing, the new Nightwing series. And we know we've been talking a lot of indies like Image Comics and Boom Studios Comics and whatnot. So we'll talk about. I know Stray Dogs is also Image, but we'll talk about some DC and Marvel. We'll talk about Beta Ray Bill. I know our friends over at the Weekly Pulse, podcast, have been talking about Beta Ray Bill a lot and how it's one of their favorites. I mean, who doesn't love Daniel Warren Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
And then we're going to talk about hopefully Nightwing and Stray Dogs and maybe one more title. So we'll see. Maybe like a little Kang the Conqueror or Firepower. You never know. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me here today to talk some Radiant Black. It's been a wonderful month of Radiant Black, and we hope to see you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh, yeah. And stay radiant.